Hey guys, I'm Jess, and today this class is going to be a bit of a shoulder opening, chest opening and hip opening and a bit of balance, so get ready. If you need a bit of extra warm-up, please take one of my warm-up classes first, and if not, if you're warm already, if you've already been working out, come move with me. Lovely, so starting at the top of your mat, we're going to take some modified sun salutation Bs. So inhaling the arms to the sky and exhaling, folding forwards. Inhaling, flat back. Exhaling, planting the fingertips, stepping the right foot back, lowering the knee, low lunge. We're going to rise. Inhale. Thinking about tucking that tailbone under a little bit. And exhale, framing the foot, tucking the back toes, lifting and stepping back to plank. And then lowering down, option to take knees to the floor and lower down through half chaturanga. If you're really warm, you might want to lower down to full chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog if you're in cobra. Squeezing behind the shoulder blades. If you're in up dog, make sure your hips and knees are off the floor. And exhaling, pushing back to downward facing dog. Ears between the biceps, in line with the biceps. Pressing into the floor, hips reaching for the sky. Sending your weight back towards your heels. Doesn't matter if your heels are on the floor, it's all good. Knees can be bent. Everything's lovely. Inhaling the right leg to the sky, three-legged dog. Exhaling, drawing it into the chest and stepping it through, lowering the back knee. Rising to low lunge on this side. Think about tucking the tailbone under again. Knee ideally over ankle. Lovely, framing the foot, stepping back to plank. Lowering down through full or half chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Up dog, arms are straight, squeezing the bum. Lifting the hips and the knees off the floor. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lovely. Inhale, rise to tiptoes. Exhale, bend the knees, look forwards, and option to walk or hop to the front of your mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise. Hands to the sky. Exhale, hands come to prayer at heart center. And inhale, hands to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back, gazing forwards. Exhale, planting the fingertips, stepping the left foot back this time, lowering the left knee. Rising to low lunge. Finding that gentle engagement, pressing that front foot into the floor. Lovely. Framing the foot, stepping back to plank. Lowering down, full or half chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful. Inhale, lifting the left leg to the sky, three-legged dog. Energy going out of that foot, like you've got superpowers coming out of there. Lovely. Drawing it into the chest, stepping it through, lowering the back knee, rising to low lunge. Lovely. Framing the foot, stepping back to plank. Lowering down, full or half chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, rising to tiptoes. Exhale, bend the knees, looking forwards and walk or hop to the front of your mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. inhale, rise, hands to the sky. And exhale, hands come to prayer at heart center. Lovely. And because we're going to be doing a bit of balancing here, let's just prep ourselves for that. So toes facing forwards, option to have feet underneath the hips, or you can have the big toes touching, outer edges of the feet parallel, but toes facing forwards, please. Hands can be on the hips or at prayer at heart center, whichever you like. But rising up onto your tiptoes, squeeze that bum, lift through the crown of the head, and lowering the heels back to the floor. This time, rising to tiptoes, keeping those heels lifted as we bend the knees, knees parallel, and sink the bum. Lovely, and lifting back up to straight legs, and lowering the heels. Beautiful. Now we're going to slowly roll down through the spine. So hands by your sides, bringing the chin to the chest to start with, and then rounding through the shoulders and rolling down vertebrae by vertebrae. Lovely. Until your hands come to wherever they naturally fall. Lovely. And then planting the right fingertips into the floor, bending the right knee. We're going to open the left fingertips to the sky. Gaze is up to the hand if possible. If not, can be down at the floor or out to the side. Whichever feels good for you. And remember to breathe. Lovely, and then folding forwards, planting the left fingertips into the floor, left knee bends. Might want to keep a micro bend in that right leg. Opening the right hand to the sky. Lovely. Breathing. Beautiful, and folding over and rolling up through the spine, reaching the hands to the sky, taking a micro back bend, squeezing the bum, and then folding forwards from the hips, rising to flat back, planting the fingertips, stepping the right leg back, lowering the right knee. We're going to inhale, rise to low lunge, and exhale, cactusing the arms, lifting the chest, and inhale, reach, and exhale, cactusing the arms. Really thinking about still trying to tuck the pelvis as you cactus the arms and carrying on with your breath. Inhaling, reach, and exhaling, opening to the sky or the ceiling, wherever you are. Inhale, reach, and exhale, open. Beautiful. Inhale, reach, and exhale, framing the foot, stepping back to plank. We're going to come to side plank now, so lowering the right knee if you'd like a supported side plank, and twisting that right shin so that's parallel with the short side of the mat. Option to take full side plank if that's in your practice, and if you feel ready. Otherwise, hand, wrist, knee and foot all in line, squeezing the bum, lifting the hips, fingers reach for the sky. Check you're not dumping into the shoulder, finding space between your ear and your shoulder. Lovely, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And coming back to plank. Lowering down slowly to the ground. Half plank is an option. Lovely, coming to the ground. We're going to come to prone twist, so extending the right arm out long to the side, hand slightly below your shoulder, left palm into the floor underneath the shoulder, and right cheek comes to the floor, resting your head and only taking this as far as is relatively comfortable, just to that lovely edge we talk about in yoga. So lifting the left hip off the floor and maybe just letting that leg float behind you, supporting yourself with that left palm into the floor. Maybe bending at the knee and bringing the toes to the floor, or maybe even the foot. Trying to keep relaxed through the neck and the head. Lovely. And then coming back onto your front. Pressing back to a brief child's pose before pressing up to downward facing dog. Lovely. Inhaling the left leg to the sky. There's a trick. Three-legged dog. Lovely. Stepping the knee through the hands. Coming to low lunge once more. This time we're going to walk the left foot out to the side of the mat, finding lizard pose. Now you might want blocks underneath your hands. You might be all right. You might have loads of room and be down on your elbows. Whatever's good for you today. And then we'll take some tiny little circles with the hips. So see what tiny little movement you can find in those hips, and where you feel that, just notice it. And then taking circles in the other direction. 3 or 4 in one direction and 3 or 4 in the other. Lovely. And then walking that foot back between the hands. Lifting the back knee, stepping back to plank, lowering down through full or half chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. Lovely. Inhaling, rising to tiptoes. Exhaling, bending the knees, looking forwards, and walk or hop to the front of your mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. And inhale, rise. Hands come to prayer at heart center. Exhale. Lovely. Inhale, hands to the sky. Slight back bend, opening the chest. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, planting the hands, left foot steps back this time. Low lunge, rising the hands to the sky, finding that gentle engagement in the pelvis. Inhaling, reaching for the sky, and exhale, opening the chest, cactus arms. Inhaling, reach, and exhaling, opening. And inhale, reach, and exhale, open. Lovely, one more. Inhale, reach, and exhale, open. And inhale, reach, and exhale, frame the foot. Step back to plank. We're going to come to side plank on the other side. So again, option to take supported side plank. And that's what I'll be doing today. So lining the foot, the knee and the hand all together. I'll stay here because it's useful to see from each side sometimes. Reaching those fingertips to the sky. Lifting the hips, squeezing the bum. Finding space between your ear and your shoulder on this side. Lovely, and bringing the palms to the floor. Lowering down slowly, slowly, slowly until you reach the floor. Extending the left arm out long this time, along the floor, beside you so that your left palm is slightly below your shoulder and your right palm is on the floor underneath the right shoulder, and you're going to bring your left cheek to the floor and lift the right hip this time. So again, option to just float this leg. And it might just be, you might just be here, that's absolutely fine. Just make sure your neck and head are nice and relaxed. Maybe you bend the knee and bring the toes or the foot to the floor. It's not a competition. It doesn't make you a better person if you can put your foot on the floor or do anything. And also every day is different, so really listen to your body today. Lovely, and then releasing, calming to face the floor and pushing back to a brief child's pose and downward facing dog when you're ready. Lovely, really pressing those finger pads and palms into the floor, finding a wrapping sensation. So you think about turning the elbow creases to the sky. Lovely. And then inhale, lifting the right leg to the sky. Three-legged dog. And exhale, drawing the knee into the chest. Stepping the foot through, lowering the back knee. And then heel toeing the foot out to the side, finding lizard on this side. Again, wherever you are today, it's perfect. That's where you're meant to be. So, for starters, just noticing how that feels compared to the other side. You might want your toes to slightly point out. You might even roll onto the outer edge of the foot. Whatever feels good. But let's take some circles again. So taking 3 or 4 circles with the pelvis in one direction and then 3 or 4 in the other. Just really small little circles. And remembering to breathe. Lovely. And then when you've finished those, walking your foot back between the hands, pressing up, lifting your back knee, stepping back to plank. And we'll lower down through full or half chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Lovely. Breathing here. Nice. And then lowering the knees to the mat. So we find ourselves in possibly a slightly long version of tabletop. Free finding tabletop, so wrists underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips, and feet directly behind the knees. We're going to have the toes tucked here. We're going to find a little bear pose. So this is great for your core. And what I want you to think about is really pressing all of those finger pads into the mat, keeping a micro bend in your elbows, nice and strong. Keeping your head and neck in line with the rest of your spine. So checking that your head's not down here. Really think about keeping that lovely length. And then we're going to press the toes into the floor and press up between the shoulder blades and lift the knees just 1 or 2 inches off the floor, really tiny. So your back's still parallel with the floor. And taking 3 or 4 breaths here. Lovely. Feeling strong. Doing so well. Hold it, hold it. Keep breathing. Beautiful. And releasing. And walking the hands back towards the heels to toe pose. But this might be quite intense, so option to keep your hands supporting you wherever you need. But if you can, coming to sit onto your heels. Checking all your toes are pressing into the floor. Lovely. Inhaling your shoulders to your ears and exhaling, releasing them down. Finding that lovely length through the crown of the head. and relaxing as much as possible. It might be really intense, it might not be. Depends on your feet, huh? Lovely. And then we're going to bring the hands back to the floor, bring the soles of the feet to the ground, and slowly roll up through the spine. Lovely. Coming to stand. And here we are going to take some balance poses. So find yourself a wall if you need to. But for starters, let's find those tripod points of your feet. So think about the little toe side of the ball of your foot, the big toe side of the ball of your foot, and your heel. And actually that mimics our walking pattern. So it will be heel, little toe side of the ball of the foot, big toe side of the ball of the foot. Is how you walk. So maybe shift through those weight points. And then when you've had that fun, find your roots into the floor. Think about having a gentle bend in your knees, lifting the kneecaps, engaging the quads, squeezing the bums, slightly tucking the pelvis to find neutral. Most people will need to slightly tuck. Some people might need the other way, so just be mindful of your own body. Get to know it. Lovely. And then hands to the hips. We'll shift the weight into the left foot and lift the right knee and leg off the floor. If you can. If not, just play with wherever you are. This is an opportunity for play. So if you can, bringing your right hand to your right knee, opening the knee out to the side, maybe opening that arm as well, the left arm to the other side, that is. Beautiful. And then coming back to center, extending that leg, pointing the toe, and slowly lowering down, having a wiggle, having a little reset. Beautiful. Now this time, option to do the same thing, or you can take the peace fingers around the big toe and extend the leg straight. If you're here, I want you to think about drawing your shoulder, your right shoulder, back in line with the left as much as possible. An option always to use a strap as well. That's really handy if you've got one, or maybe a tea towel, whatever you've got lying around. And opening that leg out to the side. Again, option to have that knee bent. Option to open the arm to the other side. Lovely. If you're super confident, you could play with closing your eyes. It is up to you. And then coming back to center, letting go of that foot, keeping the leg lifted, and then lowering. Lovely. And release. Onto the other side. So rooting down into that right foot, shifting the weight into there, lifting the left knee, and then opening it out to the side, maybe opening the right arm out. Lovely. Then coming back to center, releasing down, having a little wiggle. Forgot to keep the leg held up long. If you did that, well done. Bonus points. So this time, option to take the same version, or taking your peace fingers around the big toe, extending the leg long. Think about rolling that left shoulder back in line with the right, and opening out to the side. Beautiful. And extending the right arm out. Lovely. Finding a focal point is very helpful. Your drishti, an unmoving point, so not another human or anything like that. Beautiful. And then coming back to center, keeping that leg lifted. Lovely. And lowering down. Beautiful. Having a little wiggle. Lovely. Now we'll take tree pose. So shifting the weight into the left leg, option here to take tree so that your toes are on the floor and your heel is just above your left ankle, but not on the ankle. This is a great option. Another option is to have the sole of your foot against your calf or right up into your inner thigh. All of the options are good, whatever works for your body. And you might want to play with opening the arms, swaying the arms like a tree. Feel all of those postural muscles working to keep you upright. Lovely. Beautiful. And releasing with control. Coming back to the floor. Lovely. So on the other side, try and take the same as you did on the right hand side. Lovely. So whichever one works for you. Just notice how it feels compared to the other side. Maybe one side is more balanced than the other. That's completely normal. And play with moving your arms. Lovely. Beautiful. And releasing with control. You can pause and stay there for a long time if you like. Lovely. And then we'll heel toe the feet out wide and sink to a yogi squat. If you can, heels on the floor. If not, you could roll up something underneath your heels to support you, or we're only going to be here briefly. Finding length through the spine. Lovely. And then if you can, playing with sitting from here. Beautiful. And coming to a lovely Shavasana. So extending the arms long, tucking the tailbone, slowly rolling down through the spine to the floor. Extending the legs long, the arms and palms open to the ceiling or the sky if you're lucky. Practicing outside. And just staying here for 5 or so minutes, whatever time you have, and allowing the floor to hold you. And when you're ready, rolling over to one side, pressing yourself up to a seat. Refinding your center, your breath, finding that ease through your upper body, your roots into the floor. And thank yourself for practicing today. Thank your body. And thank you for practicing with me. Namaste. Thank you so much. Have a lovely day. If you enjoyed the class, please like, subscribe, comment, let me know how you got on. And yeah, we'll see you soon for some more. Thank you.